For a lot of kids and workers, it's been a week full of snow days. But while some organizations send employees home, Toledo Fire and Rescue still had to report for duty in the bitter cold.
In fact, a call came in earlier this morning for this fire in East Toledo. And of course, in the temperatures, fighting it was not easy. NBC 24's Jay Hanna is live in the newsroom tonight to explain the problems that crews face today. And Jay, the wind, as you heard in Chris's live shot, was a major issue.
Yeah, Ryan, because of the strong winds, the water from their hoses and the smoke from the fire was blowing straight back at them. But that was just the beginning of their issues today.
One decent fire is going to kind of put us back a good 6-7 hours today.
Just before 9:15 a.m., Station 13 responded to a fire on Worthington Street in East Toledo. With one crew on scene for 2.5 hours and another for 2 hours afterward, Toledo Fire and Rescue did everything they could to stay warm. Firefighters were a part of a group text overnight preparing for whatever the day would bring.
They started preparing for the what-ifs if we actually had to encounter one today. And that pretty much helped to pre-plan what we would do, and they ran start through the finish of what hazards we could possibly encounter, how they would overcome them. And it actually worked out pretty well on scene because they implemented everything that they talked about.
With a wind chill in the negative double digits, Captain Tom Lewandowski says the biggest problems his team faced was smoke and wind. Because of where the house was located, everything blew back in their face from the strong gusts of wind. He says some of the problems on scene included frozen equipment and hoses.
We were doing a very good job moving the amount of hose that we had, and even so, we still had one line freeze up in a matter of 30 seconds to a minute and a half.
Firefighter paramedic Steve Drulard was in charge of navigating the ice as quickly as possible while driving to the scene. He also was the pump operator. Drulard says that by keeping water moving through the hoses, like a common pipe in your house, it helps prevent freezing.
Just that action is enough to keep the water moving and keep from freezing.
Once firefighters returned to the station, they had to unfreeze hoses, remove frozen water from the equipment, and prepare for any other possible run. It's just another day in the life of a Toledo firefighter.
We all kind of just did our job and kept an eye on each other and kind of rotated out of the cabs and try to keep as warm as possible.
TFRD says the home sustained significant damage, but the residents, a man and a child, were not at home during the fire. Live in the newsroom, Jay Hanna, NBC 24 News.
That looked cold.